Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. Let's talk today about unconditional compassion. It is fascinating that I am recording this just a couple hours before the Libra eclipse. And this is a very strong theme for many of us right now. Obviously, there is a lot happening in the world that is pointing to strife and division. And the energy that is prevalent in this moment is very much pushing us towards what seems to be frustration. And things don't seem to be as easy and as soft as we would like them to be. And in this time of extreme division and separation, we have to remember complete acceptance and compassion and love for each other. And I want to preface this entire video by saying I am not coming from a place of having it all figured out. In fact, the moments before hitting record have proven as frustrating as possible. I should have been able to just hit record, right? Notice the should and what that would cause in me as far as frustration. But certainly life has offered plenty of challenges to drive the point home and help me experience what many of us in the world are experiencing right now. So it is really, really easy in this energy to get caught up in separation. It's easy for us to believe that somehow the person next to you has done something wrong and you are valid or justified in your frustration or your impatience with them. And in some extreme cases, that can also make us feel like that person is somehow less valuable, maybe because they don't do things the way you do, or they don't see things the way you do. Maybe you could do them better or faster or more efficiently. And we really want to remind ourselves in this moment, in this energy today, and in this video, that we have to have unconditional compassion, patience, love, understanding, empathy, all the things, right? So it can be it can be even more challenging or especially challenging when we're engaging with a person who is seemingly unconscious, maybe unaware or appears ignorant or maybe even too stubborn. Is there really a worse combination than ignorant and stubborn, right? Again, it is easy to let our ego inflate and say, I know better, or I could have done it differently or better in some way. It is easy for us to say, my way is the right way. And I know that they should be doing it this way, right? Sometimes we even take the perspective that they just can't wrap their head around how to do it right. Maybe even we think that they are ignorant or stupid. And this gives us an excuse to look down our nose at them when we believe that anyone who doesn't see it the way I do is the wrong one. And somehow they are less than. And there's a lot of that flying around right now. It is shocking that we can believe so strongly that our way is the only way. And if someone is not willing to come to our side, then we have some right to judge or reject them. And in some extreme cases right now, people believe that they have a right to kill. And it's sad. It is not the answer. But it does make sense why this is happening. We are in the deconstruction phase that is required to build us into the new phase. But aside from that, just look at your brothers and sisters around you and have understanding for why they may feel that way. People are fed up. They've had enough. They are fed up with being misunderstood, fed up with being used and discarded, fed up with corruption, maybe even fed up with the struggle to survive that is required to live in our day and age today. Some people are even fed up with the way life is and life in general. And while that is sad, it is also important to remember that change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. We have to go through a collective dark night of the soul before people will wake up to the need for unity and the desire for oneness. And again, I want to preface this. I am not preaching from some high horse. It is an everyday moment to moment challenge for me too right now. So we have to trust that this is part of the design, part of the divine process, and that our creator is still in charge, no matter how messy it gets or how uncomfortable it is. that this will lead to a beautiful new future for all of us. And we can also remember that we can shift our trajectory from the process or from the current speed or pace or direction that we are going in any moment, that it is always up to us, that we are the creators and we are in charge of this reality. And no matter what they outside are telling us is going to happen or is happening, pulling ourselves within and remembering that I am the creator of this reality helps us take our power back and shift our trajectory and maybe even collapse time if we're lucky. This can help us also prevent some of the pain and suffering that might be required to go through this. So remember, we are leaders. If you're part of this community, you are here to help show others a new way. And just because others around us are not doing what we know needs to be done does not excuse us from the thing that we know we came here to do. Now, I want you to know I hear you and I feel your doubt in this moment. I can hear that voice saying, yeah, but don't let that voice of pessimism creep in. Don't let it tell you that it's not possible or that you don't have control. If you believe you can or you can't, you are right, to quote Henry Ford. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. And that one I don't know the source for, but it is not mine. We can shift our perspective now, and we can open to and embrace all of the differences for each and every one of us. We can remember that all paths lead home. That means there is no one right way. You don't have access to the guidance that is in the other person. And it's almost as if we're playing God to try to say, I know what's right for you. We have to remember all paths lead home, and it is not up to us. We have no authority over the other. Sweep in front of your own door. Worry about your own stuff. Mind your own business, right? We can remember that what we resist persists. So when we are in resistance to someone, we are perpetuating the thing that we think is so wrong, right? We can choose to see every single person as divine and valuable right where they are, without exception. So what if we consider our differences as unique strengths instead of problems? What if this is enhancing our collective experience in some way? Even though I'll use myself and my partner as an example, we are exact opposites. I'm an introvert, he's an extrovert. I'm an internal processor, he's an external processor. There's so many different things, and it would be easy for me to step into that judgmental perspective of you're somehow less of a person, and to lose love and respect for that person because of it. We have to ask ourselves, do we enjoy separation? Do we like the isolation? Wouldn't you rather embrace your brother and sister with love? Wouldn't you rather have connection and community? Do you want to affect change that will allow this? It requires connection and collaboration and unity, and that's what we're moving towards. But if we continue to perpetuate division and separation and isolation, then it's going to be more painful. So if we truly believe that separation was the best way, wouldn't we prevent or avoid cooperation or communication with anyone? Right? We seem to pick and choose. I'll communicate or I'll connect with you, but somehow that person doesn't deserve it. So we really have to ask ourselves, is this how we want to live? Do we want to live in division and isolation? Isolation is far too common for the hidden seeker right now, and we have justified it under the guise of healing. It is preventing us from stepping into our purpose and shining our light the way we came here to do. So I don't know about you, but division and isolation and separation, that sounds like hell to me. We can create heaven on earth, or we can create hell. Remember, our differences enrich us, and we don't have to let them separate us. What makes you so sure that your differences can't lead to understanding and connection? Look at diverse scientific or corporate teams. They lead to better innovation. Collaboration and openness leads to expansion. So let us reaffirm our commitment to seeing the beauty in others. Refuse to judge, refuse to separate, refuse to isolate. Choose to focus on love, acceptance, trust, surrender, cultivating relationships with Source and your brothers and sisters. This is what it means to keep your eyes on God, because if we remember the truth, God is in everyone, in your brother and your sister, regardless of how different or separate we may seem. And this is how we survive these challenging times, keeping our eyes on God. We can cultivate our unconditional compassion for those who are in pain just the same as we can for those who are hurting others. From a psychological perspective, everything a person does comes from a desire to survive. They are just trying to stay alive. And their brain and their body has led them to believe that what they are doing is necessary. At their core, they are still good people. Yes, hurt people. And there's a lot of pain in the world right now. The world looks like one giant trauma response at the moment. And we have to ask ourselves, does a person really truly come from a place of evil in their infancy? No, they are still good people underneath all of that pain. And so ask, what does a suffering person need? What did you need when you went through your hard times? We need to be seen, heard, validated, loved, and respected. They need to hold space for themselves. Yes, this is true, but we also can lead by example and hold space for them first. And when we hold space for them, it doesn't mean just in the good emotions or just in the times we see them making progress. It means when they're angry, when they're frustrated, when they are hurting people. In fact, anger is often the first step in the healing process. Anger is a cover for pain. And whether it's frustration or any other seemingly undesirable emotion, we still have to hold space and love and acceptance, unconditional compassion for them to allow and facilitate their healing. Pardon my cough here. You have to see them for who they are, see their divinity, see their beauty without judgment. When we can hold steadfast and calm in the eye of the storm, we become the anchor for them to entrain to. Have you ever noticed if you go into a room or you're engaging with someone and they're very chaotic, but you hold steady and you hold still? As long as you don't entrain to them, they will eventually entrain to you. We have to remember this is a tall order. Again, not coming from a high horse. It's hard for me too. But we have to remember we have the divine on our side and we can turn this ship around. So let's practice unconditional compassion and empathy. And remember, I am being put to task just as much as you are. So let's try to understand the other person's perspective and see their reason for believing or doing what they do. Let's try to put ourselves in their shoes and see their situation from their point of view. We have to actively listen when we engage with the other. Listen to understand, not listen to speak. Ask questions for clarification and be genuinely interested and curious about their viewpoint. Remain as king by asking questions. I would say asking questions in this moment, in this challenge for me, is probably the go-to tactic or strategy that's going to help us remain in that state of steady, calm, love, compassion, and also cultivate understanding and curiosity. Ask questions, try to understand. Remember that they hold a treasure and a gift for you, but you have to have eyes to see and ears to hear to be able to see it. Don't assume or jump to conclusions about a person's character, right? Assume that the best underlies their pain and their unresourceful choices. Acknowledge your bias or your preconceived notions, and remember that they are a mirror to help you see where you can grow. This is the toughest part about it all. Sometimes what we are seeing on the outside is a mirror to help us see what we need to work on. If I am not unconditionally compassionate or loving or respectful, if I am rude, if I am snippy, then maybe that mirror is helping me see how I need to do some inner work. We have to value the gift of the mirror that they offer. Separate the person from their beliefs, from their behaviors, and remember that person's beliefs or behaviors are separate from their humanity. We can disagree with their actions, their words, their ideas without devaluing them as a person. Seek common ground, shared values, no matter how small. If you look hard enough, there's almost always something you can connect with a person on. You can and still should always have boundaries. There is no need to jeopardize your safety or harm yourself to do this. We can stay mindful and grounded in our body, and that will be enough to keep us safe. But we can do this while also seeking to understand and learning more about their perspective and experiences. So if we don't commit to unity and unconditional compassion in this time, while the energies are pushing us, and really, what I get is a strong sense of we are being pushed. It's as if the universe is pushing our buttons. The places where we still need to grow and we still need to be work are being pushed in this moment. And if we choose to fall into the easy, lazy way of, fine, I'll just get mad. Fine, I'll just throw my hands in the air and blah, dump my crap on someone, then we are perpetuating the wound. We are perpetuating the problem, and we will delay the process of unity and ascension. Either way, we're going to get there. It's just a question of how long and how much pain do we have to go through to get there? How much do we have to suffer before we finally wake up to the beauty of unity? And it's not easy. I know it's certainly not easy to be the one person amongst many who is trying to do it. It doesn't excuse us. It doesn't forego the reason we came here. We have all been afforded grace. We have all been forgiven. We have all been given second chances. We need to do that for our brothers and sisters as well. And if we fail to pick ourselves up, that's fine. We can try again at any time. There's nothing stopping us or getting in the way. We will eventually get there. The future is bright, my friends, and it is safe to have hope. Know that relief is coming soon. So continue to shine your light, refuse to hide, and send love to your brothers and sisters. As I have said many times, I am in this with you. I will continue to do every single thing that has been said here. I feel in this moment, this message is as much for me as it is for you. So know that I am holding your hand as we walk through this, and together we will arrive on the other side very soon. Sending you so much love. I hope you can feel that. We are all in this together. Please remember that. And remember, the name of Namaste, or the meaning of Namaste, means the soul in me sees and honors the soul in you. Let's do that for every single person that we engage with today. I love you, my friends. Namaste.